What's going on, Rolling Out family? It's the kid Simba P, and you are rolling out.
Hey, Rolling Out family, welcome to another dynamic episode of Rolling Out Music, where we tap into the sound, stories, and spirit of the artists shaping culture today. I'm your host, Eddie Precise Lamar, and today we're diving into the mind of a rising voice in hip hop, Illinois native and melodic lyricist, Simba P. We'll be discussing his Project P, a 6-song EP that takes us on an introspective yet refreshing journey through life, love, vulnerability, and evolution. As a member of the Great Thinkers Collective, Simba P is both a student and teacher, artist, and architect, carving a lane all his own. Let's get into it. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm excited to talk to you today, brother.
Thank
You
you,
know,
thank you. Pleasure.
oh, for sure. Your EPP feels both personal and reflective. What are the driving forces behind creating this particular project?
So at first, P was going to be a deluxe project for a project that I did before called As Above, So Below, but it sounded different and it felt different in terms of its sound and its essence of feeling as far as like delivery and everything like that. So one of the driving forces was there was a lot of change happening in my life that moment in time. Management was kind of moving around and stuff. My living situation was a bit different, but it was really more so me tapping into myself and tapping into my own power. What that looked like was P, you know what I'm saying? Like I am P, you know what I'm saying? Simba P and everything like that. So my mind was okay, so let's go into me. Let's give everybody all the essences in every aspect of me in every lane, in every way that I create, and emotionally speaking too. I've been I think ever since I've been with the Thinkers, I've been opening myself up more vulnerability wise to my audience and to my fans and really to anybody who's open to listen, you feel me? So I think that's probably one of the most beautiful things about music. So that was
Yeah,
kind of healing and healing certain parts of myself and understanding certain parts of my life. It was really one of the biggest forces of P.
for sure. You mentioned the Great Thinkers. You've
Mhm.
gone from mentee to educator within that collective. How's that evolution influenced your music and your mindset?
It's influenced my music because what one of the things that the great thinkers love to do is push us to be great. You know what I'm saying? That's one of our essences and everything like that. Is more so top tier. You know what I'm saying? And also thinking differently. So I mean, in terms of my music, I'm always trying to better myself. I want to be the best person that I can be. I don't really believe in competing with other people. I'm really competing with myself.
Mm.
So in terms of elevating within the thinkers, that was just being a sponge and just learning from them and learning from the ways that Mother Nature teaches through the miseducation of hip hop and through how we even teach and educate with Street College in Champaign. I've been doing a lot of work with the University of Illinois as well, doing the hip hop camp. I just came back from doing that. So a lot of those things I learned from the great thinkers, being a part of the miseducation of hip hop when I was younger, now elevating and becoming a mentor and a teacher to many other younger artists that were just like me, who didn't, and honestly, I didn't have a lot of these programs and things when I was younger. To be able to give this and push that forward to the new generation of artists and teach these young kids how to express themselves in safe ways and how to hone in on their gifts and how they can not only heal you, but how they can also other benefits like money or teaching them the business and everything like that too. So I mean, for as far as my music, that's kind of one hand kind of washes the other when it comes to music and education for me. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I really try to fuse that in my teachings with, be it the miseducation of hip hop, be it with my kids that I work with here at CPS sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And or wherever I go in terms of mentorship. So it's a
You know,
lifestyle thing. So I try to influence that lifestyle in my music and in my teachings.
one of the things I noticed about hip hop as a culture is that it is used as a vehicle to speak directly to the youth and to teach these different things that you mentioned. Why do you
Yeah.
think hip hop is a vehicle in that way? Why do you think hip hop can be used that way?
Kids can often feel voiceless sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Hip hop was kind of created in a revolutionary time in a way, in ways where it was poverty. You know what I'm saying? It's a voice, it's a voice for the people. It's a voice for the voiceless. Youth gravitate to it because it's rebellious, because it's mind opening, because it's in its essence, it's each one teach one, learn and grow together. So
Hmm.
it's the reason why it's beautiful to combine with education because one of the most important elements of hip hop that we don't talk about as enough like we should is knowledge, you know. So passing down that knowledge, hip hop is a language that is prophetic in a sense, and you can kind of see you can kind of see if you pay, you know, if you really pay attention to the history of hip hop, you can either see the incline of the prophet, i.e. the rappers and all that other stuff, and the decline of the prophet as well, you know what I'm saying? But hip hop is also a spectrum, and just as
Yeah,
much as black is being a spectrum. So everything kind of has its place. We were kind of talking about that with the kids. Everything kind of has its place within hip hop, and it's a very beautiful thing. But what I will say is, as far as a media standpoint and maybe a culture standpoint, we tend to push a certain aspect of hip hop that's not just one aspect of hip hop. So if hip hop is in essence a language of black culture, what the media pushes sometimes is that there's only one essence of being black. And to be honest, that's where the stereotypes come in. So it's really there's these different areas and these different lanes of being black that also represent these different areas of hip hop too. You know what I'm saying? So hip hop gives a voice to these people, to these aspects. And we're seeing it a lot more and more because hip hop is in everything now. So it's kind of like a conduit, and it can adapt. So it
indeed.
speaks to everybody. So it's a universal language, and that's why it speaks to the young people.
To go back to your EP, how did you decide which 6 songs made the final cut?
Like I said, for this one, at first it was really going to be a deluxe for As Above, So Below. And As Above, So Below is a super personal project too, in terms of when we talk about evolution and things like that. So some of it was like songs that I was working on in that mindset and in that era. And then the rest of it was more so me, okay, well, who am I becoming now? What does this sound like? And when I'm making music, I listen for the story. I listen to what the music is trying to tell me, because in essence, yes, I'm creating it. It's more so coming through me. I'm really just a vessel, for real, for real. So I listen to what the music is, to the story that the music is trying to tell. In terms of the technical process of it, me and HK, my producer, will go back and forth and just sequence it and say, okay, where's the story here? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Every good project tells a story. So I was trying to find the story. So that's pretty much how I decided what makes the cut and what doesn't. What's the story that the music is trying to tell?
I guess the question behind that is, what is the story behind P?
Man, the story behind P is really me, my life. You know what I'm saying? So P is for power is essentially, I talk about growing up in Champaign. I talk about the lifestyles that I've had and how I had to flip those lifestyles and understanding like why I was in that space, being a product of my environment and things like that. And then understanding, okay, I could teach other kids. They don't have to do that. And but it's also a interesting battle that we have as well, that I have personally within myself in terms of consciousness and understanding, you know, street life and understanding the part that the kids think is really cool but might be dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But also wanting to speak light on all these other things in my life and how I've grown and how I've changed. So that's kind of what P is for power in that essence. Another part of me, which is it touches on all of my emotions really, and you hear every aspect of me.
Yeah, that's dope. So let's talk about your features then. What was it like working with ASAV on Keep It Twerking and Heavy Crowns on Life of P?
Man, ASAP is a star in every aspect. Me and ASAP have been super familiar with each other for the past like maybe 3, 4 years now, and we've always just been trying to create something. And one day, I just got this beat from HK, one of my producers, and I was like, man, I really like this, and I think ASAP would go perfect on it. So I just wrote something specifically designed for her that I knew that she could rap right into. And
Hmm.
I called her up. She came through. I really make music at the house for the most part, type of thing. So she came through to the crib. I recorded her here. It was amazing. She came in and she just bodied it. She just knows how to flow so well, effortlessly on anything. You know what I'm saying? Her talent is kind of limitless. So I kind of just let her do what she wants to do. And that's kind of how I operate with a lot of my features and a lot of my collaborators. Yes, I'm here, but I want you to shine type of thing. So this is what this space on that song is for you. Got in there and she did exactly what she was supposed to do.
Or how about the joint with Heavy Crowns, Life of P?
Man, me and Heavy are definitely brothers in the sense of like collective mates and in terms of just like we have a great understanding of each other and how we rap in the music that we make. So when I heard that smooth beat, I was like, oh yeah, this is Heavy Crowns. It got heavy written all over it.
Hmm.
So I showed him the song. I called him up, and he instantly loved it. So he had also came through to the studio, and we just sat down and I think I'm not sure if I don't remember if he had wrote it beforehand or if he wrote it or if he had wrote it right then and there. But I just remember him laying it down. It's a whole lot we got. You want to go against us? Why? Because we great and fly. And I knew that that beat was perfect for him because he's a floater. He can float on beats. You know what I'm saying? When I heard it, the one thing I heard was ooh. So it's it was just amazing putting that together because I remember when I first wanted to get him on a project when I first met him and when I asked him, hey, what's it gonna take for you to get you on a song, man? He was like, man, we just got to build a relationship, and then we ended up becoming collective mates, and now like that's really my brother. And I think that chemistry just added so much to the energy on the song. Man, it's amazing.
What do you think the advantage is coming from a collective?
I think the advantage is like being a part of the Avengers. I try to tell my kids that a lot, or like the Justice League. We know they know how each other fight. You know what I'm saying? We know how we move. So it's like when we get on stage, it's like we getting ready to go to war, or we getting ready for battle. We kind of are so familiar with each other's styles and the ways that we rap. We know each other's songs and things like that. We're on a lot of songs with each other just from previous projects and things like that. The advantage is, especially for somebody like me, because I'm a sponge in every aspect. When I'm going to a show, I'm watching how Kendrick performs. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching sets and all that stuff. So like for me, that's kind of how the great thinkers taught me to be in terms of be a sponge. So I'm learning from Heavy Crowns in the way that he creatively directs. I'm learning from Mother Nature and how they educate and teach. I'm learning from Jeff and how he raps and performs and delivers his cadences and things like that. I'm learning from Sky and how he writes and his flows and things like that. I'm learning from Simba and in his ear for good music and everything. So it's for me, it's like, okay, I'm taking from all of these different things and all these different superheroes in my eyes. Now that it's hard to lose when you have so many different resources and we put all these resources together. We're a team. And when I win, they win. When they win, I win. We all win. And even then, like being able to maneuver and do like stuff in the community, like the great cipher and things like that, it's just elevation and it's the essence of hip hop. That's why I'm happy to be in a collective.
Yeah, that's dope. So, what was the thinking behind releasing the project on both traditional platforms and an artist led platform?
One, I wanted to test myself for one thing. I wanted to see what I could do. You really want to, but you also want to like reach your fan base and see where your fan base is at. So it was a very intentional move in terms of okay, who's really supporting me? You know what I'm saying? Who's really willing to buy my projects? But it's also from a standpoint of we don't make money from this thing that we love so much for real, the way that we should off of the actual music aspect. People don't buy records anymore. They just stream it, and that's okay. So, how can I cater to both of these audiences? Or really, how can I create one audience while catering to the audience I already have? Because I have people who will casually listen, but how many people do I have that are going to support? Because those are your real fans. I don't really
Right.
like to call them fans. They're my supporters. You know what I'm saying? They're actively giving money to that. And I love it because it was successful. Because it was the first time. There was really no way that I could lose in that or anything like that. It's not really taking a risk. It's more so expansion. And for me, somebody who's independent, it's important that you understand where your fan base is, how you can reach them, get to them, talk to them, sell your merch to them, and how you can cater to them first. So that's
Mhm.
kind of what that was for me. I wanted to cater to the people who are really supporting me first and then go into okay, here it is for the casual listeners. I know you guys are gonna love it too, but then again, you're also pulling in more loyal fans because they see what you're doing for your actual fans. You know what I'm saying? But it's also I want to show other artists that that's possible too. I think we kind of got that from McJenkins. You know what I'm saying, and how he was doing it. It's awesome because I actually found that fan base. I'm actually able to see and cater to that, and my fan base grew. So it works perfectly. It works perfectly. And so I definitely encourage every artist to like sell your music, especially in this day and age, in this time, especially if you're independent. Make your work is tangible. People want to hear what you have, and people are actually willing to give you money for your work, especially if it's good. So believe in yourself.
It's awesome. You know, you have a unique story in that you grew up in Champaign, a college town.
Yeah.
Talk about what that experience was like and how it informed your career, and how coming up north to Chicago also how that informed your career also.
It's interesting. Champaign is a very interesting town. I love Champaign, but it's also like you can get stuck there
Mhm.
sometimes. You know what I'm saying? If you allow it, especially it's great. It's a great place for if you want to like have a family and things. But if you want to do bigger stuff, you just kind of a ceiling there sometimes. So you kind of got to think bigger and go outside of the box. But for me, growing up in Champaign was different because now that I'm here and I'm working with kids and I'm seeing how they're growing up, there's definitely a difference, but it's not too different. It's not too different. It's the same strokes, different folks for real, and vice versa. So I mean, for me, like I grew up around gangsters, wanna be gangsters. I grew up around creatives. I grew up around people who were like revolutionary too. You know what I'm saying? In their mindset and in their thinking. So I mean, for me, my specific black experience was good kid, mad city. For real. In that essence. Trying to be good, but also we're products of our environments. There's people like to say that Champagne, it's soft over there, or man, we still got hoods over there too, just as much as we got nice areas. If you step out of campus and step out of the university, it's hard for me to say it like it is, but you know what I'm saying with Champagne because that's home. But I'm gonna say it like it is. Once you step out of the university, it's like that. It's different. You know what I'm saying? I got stories that I can't even really speak about for real, in terms of things that have happened there that get swept under the rug or what have you. So I mean, but it's not all bad. It's beautiful because we do have opportunities there because of the university too.
Mhm.
I'm blessed to be able to go home and see some of these kids that I used to go to the Boys and Girls Club with when I was younger want to rap and teach them how to rap now and things like that. So like I grew up a part of the Don Moore Boys and Girls Club out there back then. I was a youth of the year at some point in time. When I grew up, I was working there. So I was definitely always active within my community, and that's kind of how we grew up. Like there was baseball leagues and things for us growing up. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Had a lot of programs when we were kids too, so we could try to stay off the streets. But as I grew up, I also started to see a lot of those get taken away. You know what I'm saying? Like art programs and things where they're not in certain areas. But we had a lot of those growing up, and there's still some there now. But when I come back to the city, and I work with the kids here, there's not as many of those things. There's not as many of these programs. When we talk about, I'm more so talking about the youth now, because when I talk about growing up, that's really where I see myself as them. I'm
Mhm.
only 26. So when I relate to my kids, I'm like, man, 10 years was not that long ago in my eyes,
Oh,
for real. For real. So when I see the contrast out here, and I see a lot of the young kids out here in the streets and going downtown and doing all these other things because they don't have a lot of these programs no more. They don't have a lot of these things that they say that we used to have. You can't really blame it on the kids that they're in the streets when they don't have nowhere else to go, you
yeah.
know? So it's tough. I remember seeing a lot of that when I was growing up, and a lot of them still doing the same things and things like that, you know? It changed my life because I was definitely not in the streets, 1 foot in, 1 foot out was kind of what it was like. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
understand. Now, trust me, I understand.
1 foot in, 1 foot out. So it's
It,
like it was dangerous, but I had a lot of mentorship. I will say that I had a lot of great male mentorship. I was definitely blessed to have a lot of black male role models, football coaches, basketball coaches. Charles Burton at Dalmore Boys and Girls Club definitely had an impact on me, putting me on stages and speaking in front of crowds and things like that. These are just little baby steps that I had to be uncomfortable to be able to do what I do now.
what's the
It's
Boys and Girls Club name again?
Don Moore Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
So community for sure. It's definitely a lot of community. Definitely still lots of
Hmm.
community. But that's here and in Chicago. I hate the narrative about Chicago, bro. I really hate it. I really hate it. I really hate the negative narrative about it because me being back and forth between Champaign and Chicago my whole life because I do have family here. I see so much love. I see so much love and I see all of these amazing communities within the city, such as Healthy Hood, you know what I'm saying? Like another amazing community pushing progressive thinking and progressive thought and positivity and providing programs for people out here in the city and things like that.
That's why it's important for you to tell the story through your music. If listeners take one message away from P, what would you want that to be?
I want you to be yourself, whatever that looks like to you. That's really what P is in its essence. Cause everything that I said I am in them songs, I am that. It's I do that. I am this person, and I'm emotional. So it's okay for you to show emotion. You feel me?
Hmm.
We as black men are emotional, and that's okay. We get taught that that's not a positive thing to show, but you're supposed to show that. You're supposed to. You're human. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be if you didn't have emotion. So being able to say things like you were born to win and talk about slipping and falling and the ups and downs of life and being an artist, we get real braggadocious in our raps, and I love to be braggadocious, but I can also get real with you about how this thing can really go and how I really feel. I want people to understand that it's okay to feel gangster sometimes, but it's also okay to feel sad sometimes, because even gangsters feel sad. Even people who are going through the highest of the highs get sad. But at the end of the day, it's all growth. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. P is about the journey. All of my music is about the journey in its essence. For real, for real. It's really about my journey.
So we're right here in the middle of Black Music Month. Why would you say Black music is important?
Black music is everywhere, even the music that you don't think is black. If I'm keeping it real, I was just talking to somebody, one of my friends. I heard that they just created a new country,
Category for the
yeah,
Grammys.
country category for the Grammys. And we got into an in-depth conversation about that. What's it called? Contemporary country or something like that. And I was like, okay, what does contemporary really mean if we're talking about the recent events that just happened with country music, things like that? You know what I'm saying? And we could also talk about the origins and the roots of country if we're talking about contemporary country. So what happens when contemporary becomes more popular than traditional?
Mhm. What are you really trying to say? Like, what are you trying to say as traditional? And who's
Exactly.
like, why are you now compartmentalizing a music that has existed in its way for so long?
Exactly. Exactly. At first, you had the word was urban. You know what I'm saying? And these other things. So I say that to say, black music is important because, to be quite honest with you, it's the blueprint. I'm personally quite tired of playing games about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really is the blueprint. Hip hop is infused with everything. Everybody goes to hip hop for their biggest hit now at some point in time. You know what I'm saying? Even then, like our lingo, I've been saying it a lot to my kids and saying it in general in my music. Ebonics, a lot of people don't understand what Ebonics is, but a lot of our people and other people speak Ebonics now because of hip hop music, and even in their pop music, they're speaking Ebonics because it's popular. You know what I'm saying? And for those of y'all who don't know what Ebonics is, it's slang. It's what the kids are saying right now, essentially, and things like that. So it's the blueprint.
Yep.
Black music, you can't replace it. You can't stop it. It's here and it's not going anywhere. So
So Simba P, where can people find you?
you can find me at Simba P on all music platforms. Please don't forget that $ for the S. You can find me on Instagram at @IM_Simba P. TikTok, I am Simba P. Yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, SimbaP.com. Don't forget to go there.
Simba P, brother, thank you so much for joining us today. As I'm listening to you, it's so amazing to know the source of where you come from and who your mentors are, because you are an amazing example of what can happen when you're mentored properly. And I love that you're teaching the kids right now, brother. So thank you. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm just trying to pay it forward. Each one teach one. That's what hip
Yes,
hop is.
yes. Yes, yes. Yo, Rolling Out family, that's a wrap. Big love to Simba P for joining us and giving us that unfiltered look into his journey and his new EP. P, make sure you run that project up, share it, and support it. Independent artistry in its purest form. Until next time, I'm Eddie Precise Lamar, and as I always say, stay focused, positive, and productive.
Mm.
Peace.
Peace.